This topic is what I consider to be the single most lucrative topic in the chiropractic profession. And within it, this topic we're getting ready to cover is the singular most important topic within that marketing category. So what we're talking about is how to establish need with attorneys. When you know how to establish need with attorneys, that's when you get referrals. So what is the psychology and the sales process to establish need with attorneys? Well, we're going to go into the nitty-gritty, the overview of it right now. Before we do that, let me make sure we're clear up to this point where we're at. So remember, we already should have determined our geographic radius of draw from our northern, southern, eastern, western boundaries. We should know our psychographic barriers from the north, south, east, and west. It's the very first thing you do in marketing. Okay, then we're gonna form our target market. Remember the categories of our target market, our demographics, psychographics. Well, that's when we divide up our attorneys and our attorney list with A, B, C, and attorneys you've dealt with in the past, trial lawyers, association attorneys, and attorneys who are just promoting themselves with doing personal injury within your county. Okay, so that's what that's about. And then we already talked about psychographic barriers. And then we paid a lot of attention to what's called gateways, what topic you should be talking about, and definitely what topics you should not be talking about to get in the door. And then we talked about a USP, unique sales position, or unique segment position, what that means and its relationship. And then we talked about vehicle delivery, the components relative to vehicle delivery. That takes us to the next stage. And then the next stage is the campaign. And then we talked about the difference between a marketing campaign versus just doing an advertisement. Okay. So we went into all the pros and cons of a campaign, what we're trying to accomplish, how we can accomplish, what's more effective, least effective, and why. We talked about primary and secondary pleasure words, primary and secondary pain-based words, and logic. We covered all this. All right, that takes us to the target market. So we went into the different categories of the target market and our list. So we have multiple lists, and we went into how to find them, how to reverse engineer to find all these different attorneys to target them. So remember, that's the single most important thing you can do is your research to define your target market. Okay, that sets us up to, so we got our, that's the first category was our demographics, geographic, psychographic barriers. The next category was our target market. The next category was how the campaign works and why it works. That now takes us to the presentation. That's where we're at now. And you go, what's the presentation formula? Well, the formula is number one, establish need. Establish need relative equals obstacles divided by trust. The obstacles are going to be, we call obstacles miss. So it's going to be equals miss times service factors divided by trust. Then that takes us to the offer. Okay. So out of all of these categories, what is the single most important category that you can learn in marketing? It's how to establish need with a target market. That's the single most important knowledge and skill base you can ever learn, period. That's what creates a lot of business.